Welcome back, everyone. My name is Michelle Riley, the owner of Notaries for Alabama. Over the last few days, I've been spending my time reading about Alabama's new Notary Accountability Act. It is a law that will go into effect on September 1, 2023, and it will affect all commissioned notaries. When I'm not reviewing the law, I am doing my best to get the word out in many different ways. Some of you may already be members of my free Facebook group called Notaries for Alabama Hangout. If you weren't, I want to encourage you to join us. Another way that I'm getting the word out is I am sending letters to notaries who are on my mailing list, especially those who are scheduled to renew their commissions in September. I don't know about you, but I don't like surprises, and I would hate to assume that the renewal of my commission will be the same way it was 4 years ago, and then get down there and realize it costs more money and it takes more time. So today's video is another attempt for me to push out this important information to as many Alabama notaries as possible. I nicknamed the law Alabama Notary Accountability Act of 2023, but really, truly, it is known as Act 2023-548. Before that, it was known as Senate Bill 322, and it was signed into law by Governor Ivey on June 14, 2023. One of the things I've been doing is taking small bites of the law. Originally, I thought I would just get on here and go through it, boom, boom, boom. But had I done that, it would have been at least a 2.5-hour video. And I know I don't want to sit through a video that long. And so my goal is to try to keep the videos around 15, 20 minutes. So there will be more of them, more videos, but easier to get through. In the previous videos, we had an introduction. That one was a live if you're looking for it on my channel. The second one was yesterday, where we talked about the new application fee and the new notary surety bond amount. So if you haven't watched those two videos, it would help you to bring you up to speed with the rest of us if you would check out those two videos first. You don't have to watch them in perfect order, but just want you to know what you may have missed out on. Let's see here now. This evening, we are going to talk about the background check. That's the focus of this evening's discussion. But before I do that, the National Notary Association has put together a summary or a white paper on this law. And I kind of like how they described it in their paper. They broke it down into several categories. There's the law covers the notary commission process, how we obtain our commission. There's a section on standards. There's a section on unlawful acts and penalties. So right now, we're in the notary commission process phase. I'll include a link to the NNA summary or white paper. It's definitely a lot easier to read through than the actual law. The background check. Let me pull up a slide real quick. Keep in mind, everything that I'm talking about goes into effect on September the 1st. And again, what we mentioned previously, all of us who have active commissions on 9/1 will be subjected to the new rules and guidelines or the new standards, the unlawful acts and penalties. And we'll cover that later. But those of you who are brand new notaries and renewing notaries on 9/1/2023 and later, you'll have that $10 application fee. You'll need to obtain a $50,000 notary surety bond. Boy, I didn't realize I'm out of order, but what we're going to talk about today is the background check, and we'll circle back and do the mandatory training in the next video. All right, the background check. Now, if you were to get a commission renewed today or a brand new commission, first go around, depending on the county that you live in, you would not have, no one has to do a formal background check today. But depending on the county that you live in, you may have had to provide the names of 2 or 3 witnesses when you applied for your application. Now, did the probate office actually call those witnesses, verify that you're a person of good character? I'm sure some did. I'm not sure all of them did. I know of about 5 counties that had application forms, and on the form they asked the notary to provide the names of witnesses. What I do know for sure is that it was rare, or today it is rare, for an Alabama notary to be denied a commission. Again, generally speaking, all you need to do is have a bond, your money, your fee amount, and maybe an application. All of that is about to change. And let's talk about that background check a little more. What are they going to be checking for? Well, at the top is residency. And I know you're like, oh, that's a no-brainer. It's a little more than that, though. They will be checking, and when I say they, I'm talking about the probate office in each county. They are the ones who will initiate the background check. And they will be verifying that you truly are a resident of Alabama and that you truly are a resident of the county where you're applying for. Now, the term resident gets used a lot, and there are different definitions of what a resident is of a state, because each state sets its own guidelines or requirements. I looked up Alabama, and for Alabama, it states an Alabama resident is someone who is domiciled in Alabama. Your domicile is where you live permanently. A person can only have one domicile. Individuals not domiciled in Alabama that maintain a permanent home in Alabama or spend more than 7 months of the taxable year in Alabama are considered to be residents. I mention this because I am aware of some Alabama notaries, yeah, that's correct, who aren't residents of Alabama. And so my interpretation is part of the issue is another reason for these changes is to make sure whoever Alabama wants to be a notary is a notary. And so this is something that they will be checking. I was not surprised at all about the convicted felon being on the list. Several counties already state on their websites that you cannot, or their applications, that you cannot be a convicted felon. Under the new law, September 1st, if you've been convicted of a crime of moral turpitude, that will also disqualify you from having a commission. Moral turpitude, it's funny, I looked it up earlier or a few days ago. I didn't go back to it or make notes. It's just, yeah, when I looked it up, I was like, woo. So it's some scary stuff, some crimes that are really tasteless. Excuse me. I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised to see that on the list. All right, because as notaries, we will be meeting with people sometimes in their home, hospital rooms, or be around their family members. And so the state wants to make sure that we are trustworthy individuals. All right, debtor in a bankruptcy proceeding. This surprised me. Why? I've never viewed bankruptcy as a crime. And that's kind of where my mindset it was at. I'm like, wow, why make the notary penalize them for going through bankruptcy? But after I thought about it some more, I remembered that notaries, we are personally and financially responsible for the errors and omissions that we make, accidentally or on purpose. And so someone who is going through a bankruptcy proceeding will have a difficult time being financially responsible. I wanted to double check my thinking, and so I looked up debtor in a bankruptcy proceeding, a person who has filed a petition for relief under the bankruptcy code. A bankruptcy discharge releases the debtor from personal liability for certain specified types of debts. In other words, the debtor is no longer legally required to pay any debts that are discharged. So that works in total opposite of what a notary's responsibility is. The next bullet is if the notary applicant is incapacitated. I wanted to dig a little deeper in that. What does it mean when someone is incapacitated? The term incapacitated is referring to one's physical or mental inability to manage one's own affairs. Incapacitability is a consideration in various areas of law, especially with wills and estates. So again, if I have some major health issues, mental issues, Alabama is saying, Michelle, we really don't want you to be in the role of a notary. I get it. How can I then, if I'm incapacitated, truly tell or determine if the signer understands what they are signing, isn't being forced to sign? And then finally, if there is any false information on the application, the new notary application, that probably doesn't need to be on the background check, but they will be using that application form and possibly another application form to verify information. What I don't know is whether or not they will be charging a fee for the background check. That was not mentioned at all in the training materials. Sorry, I was moving ahead. I wanted to see if I had any more information on here about the background check, and I don't. So that's a question, a takeaway question that I have is, does that $10 application fee cover the fee for a background check? I'll be following up with my probate judge about that. Another question that I have about background checks, it was asked of me is, hey, Michelle, I am a notary signing agent certified through the National Notary Association. They require an annual background check. Will that background check be used, or can it be used to satisfy Alabama's background check? The best answer I can give you is, I don't know, but I'll add to that, I don't think so. Why? Because the NNA's background check is verifying specific types of information. I'm not sure if their background check, the NNA, covers whether you're incapacitated or not, or covers if you're a debtor in a bankruptcy proceeding or not. I would think it would cover the moral turpitude. It definitely covers the convicted felony. Yeah, so I'll check some more on that to see, but it would be nice if signing agents could simply provide the results from the annual NNA background check to Alabama, but I'm leaning towards it won't apply. Sorry about that. I thought I had everything that could ring turned off. The last few things that I'll say, notice there is no mention of FICO scores, credit scores, so they're not looking at that. I also know that a notary site called notaryrotary.com, they may still provide a background check. I doubt, again, that would satisfy Alabama's requirements today under the new law. If you were to ask me if I think some notaries who hold active commissions today will be denied when they try to renew in September or later, I would say yes. I believe that some of these, particularly residency, there's been there has been some games played around residency with notaries. I know this firsthand. Individuals residing in other states, getting a address here in Alabama, using family members' address in Alabama in order to be commissioned in 2 different states. I'm looking at the list. I think it's fair to say out of over 70,000 notaries, there's a small amount who may be going through bankruptcy proceedings. When we look at COVID and everything going on with the economy right now, that is possible. So, again, I'm not here to judge anyone, but I am here to say it's important for each of us individually to determine ahead of our renewal whether or not we can satisfy the renewal requirements. That completes the review of the background check. And that's the only aspect of the law that I'll be covering with you today. If you have a question about the background check or about anything else that we've covered so far, or about an aspect of the law that we haven't covered yet, feel free to leave that in the comment or the chat section. I'll do my best to answer it. You can also reach out to your county probate office. They know way more than I know about this new law. Remember, I don't have any inside information. I am a notary like you. Yes, I'm a notary instructor, but I don't have any inside knowledge. I have spent a lot of time reading and rereading the new law in order for me to gain a understanding about what's changing. And keep in mind, who knows, some things may change between now and September 1st. I definitely hope we get clarification on a few questions that I have and that you probably have. I really am concerned about notaries who are scheduled to renew their commissions in September 1st. I hope they hear about this law before they go down to renew. I can use your help getting the word out. Please, when you meet other notaries in your county, make sure you talk about the new law and encourage them to download a copy and study it and review it, and join us here on YouTube for these updates. I have links to the law, a PDF that you can easily download. You'll see that in the description. You'll also see links to my training website if you're interested in learning about other things like apostilles, the Alabama marriage certificate, and then basic notary training. You can also join me on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. It's free for Alabama notaries and those aspiring notaries, and that's called Notaries for Alabama Hangout. That completes our review today of the new law. I hope you'll come back and join us. That's when we're going to cover the mandatory training. That'll be the new topic. Make sure you come back. And yes, to help get the word out, I appreciate your help with subscribing and liking the video. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you back here soon.